I was lucky enough to write an X-Force script for Fox before the original Deadpool film was made. He'd been in X-Men Origins Wolverine. And as a comic book fan, I knew that that was a travesty.
And the first is a trailer for the movie you are most looking forward to seeing at the cinema.
Well, this should be no big surprise, given the last movie that brought me to tears. It's Deadpool 3. I cannot wait to see that movie. I was lucky enough to write an X-Force script for Fox before the original Deadpool film was made. He'd been in X-Men Origins Wolverine. And as a comic book fan, I knew that that was a travesty, that that was a total abomination. And I wanted to get it right. So I got a chance to write the X-Force movie. And my pitch for the movie was, if X-Men is about mutants who get to go to private school, what about the mutants who go to public school? What about the mutants who don't have an X-Jet and Professor X and Wolverine swooping in to like show them the way and teach them? What about the mutants who got to figure it out on their own? And so I wrote this movie that was very much inspired by the original X-Force run back in the 90s. And I introduced Cable as this sort of dark mentor for our characters, but it was definitely about, the young mutants who, the formerly known as the New Mutants. But in my movie, it was Cannonball, it was Boom Boom. I aged Domino down and put her in the group, but Richter was there, Farrell was there. And I put them on this sort of kind of road movie. I modeled the movie a little bit after Red Dawn, the movie from the 80s with, Patrick Swayze. And they were doing these mutant internment camps that were sort of a analog for the Japanese internment camps that happened during World War II. But they were on the run in kind of West Texas, and that was the vibe of the film. But I wanted this antagonist chasing them the whole time. And as most people probably know, Deadpool was introduced as a villain in the original X-Force run, and so I had our main villain hire a mercenary to hunt this group of ragtag mutants down, and the mercenary hired was Deadpool. And I said he's in like these motorcycle leathers with a red ballistic face mask, and I made it very clear that he was going to look just like he does in the comic book, but I was justifying all of the choices. He was heavily scarred, and that he was the merc with a mouth. And I had so much fun writing the character, and I wanted Ryan to play the part. And I think the studio, after X-Men Origins Wolverine, there was a lot of uncertainty about where the X properties were going, whether they were going to start over or where they were going to continue the story. But through my agency, I got in touch with Ryan and I got him the script, and he read it and he loved it. And he said it's like this grand cameo for Deadpool. I mean, he's in a lot of the movie, but it's definitely a supporting part. He is a sort of almost like Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive, chasing these characters. And I played him as an antagonist. Ultimately, they turn him in the end, but I just really loved writing the character. Ultimately, they didn't make the movie. They made the Deadpool solo movie instead. And I love that movie. I think Ryan is brilliant in the film. It's just a perfect pairing of actor and character. And he just nails the voice from the comics in the films. And so I'm just so excited to see Deadpool 3. I mean, and the fact that Hugh Jackman is in it as Wolverine, honestly, that's just gravy. I mean, obviously I'm excited about that too, but where Ryan takes Deadpool next is the movie I'm most excited about.
That's exciting. That's exciting. That's amazing. So you obviously, have you watched the new trailer that just dropped a couple of days ago, or do you not watch trailers for movies? Oh yeah,
yes,
of course.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
right. Yeah.
No, so exciting. It was so exciting. I mean, the fact that they're using the TVA. I love that they're taking that sort of post-credit sequence from Deadpool 2, which was honestly, I think, just a joke. But they're clearly, that's going to be the foundation of the third film now, which I think is so much fun. It's just, I cannot wait to see that film. Also, because it just has this all bets are off kind of energy, which is that surprise that I talked about. It's like audiences, we want what's familiar. We want Ryan, we want Deadpool, but we also want that surprise. We want that feeling that all bets are off. And certainly that movie brings that to the table in spades.
Oh, I mean, bearing in mind your love of comics growing up, your work on Kick-Ass 2, this X-Force script, writing the Vin Diesel Bloodshot movie. Are you planning on returning to the superhero genre at some point in the future? Is that on the bucket list?
Absolutely. I would
Okay.
kill, kill to make a big superhero movie. Um, I've gotten very close on a few. You know, after Iron Man came out in 2008, I called up my manager. I was like, "You got to get me in at Marvel. I don't know what they're doing next, but that movie, it was such a game changer. I want to go and pitch." And I thought at the time they would never in a million years make a Captain America movie. So I came up with the Captain America pitch, and I went and pitched it to him. And I won't do the whole thing right now, but needless to say, I think my pitch was too far afield from their intentions, because part of my thesis was that Captain America shouldn't be a blonde white guy. That's like an Aryan ideal. Captain America should look like Will Smith or like this wrestler named The Rock. Ultimately, they obviously had different plans, but yes, 100%, I would kill to make a big superhero movie.
Thank you so much for watching this interview. I'd love it if you would check out some of the other interviews on our channel. They're all fascinating and unique trips to the movies with some wonderful, wonderful guests. And if you would like to find out more, do hit us up on our social channels. We are at Trip to Movies Pod. That's at Trip to Movies Pod on all social media with lovely content on there. And you can get in touch with us if you so wish. Thanks again.